The Radio Forest Podcast.
Hi, Forrest. Gary Hoey.
How are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm just excited to be back talking to you.
Yeah, it's been a while. Didn't talk to you last year. When's the last time you got to tour? Because you got the new tour kicking off. How long has it been?
Well, we didn't, we pretty much like everybody else, we had to kind of skip a year and we didn't get to do much last year at all. This year we're back. It feels great to be back out doing shows and, getting to talk to you and just be out there. So, yeah, it's been a year and a half of just hunkering down, man. I got bedroom chops. I need to get out of there.
So are you warming up any different than you normally would since it's been a while? You got to be up to playing speed. The guitar is something you lose if you don't stay with it. So any more preparations than usual because of the lack of getting out there live?
Well, the last year and a half, I did a lot of live streaming online, playing for the fans, playing songs, playing acoustic. I started doing some solo acoustic shows called the Retrospective Tour that I was doing just to get out and play, just so I didn't lose my chops. And then, we started rehearsing the holiday tour sooner, because we're starting the day after Thanksgiving in Pennsylvania. And for me, man, I just like to sit down, take my guitar, and start off with a little bit of and just start moving, and then going into the crunchy, get some "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." All of a sudden, I'm right back to where I was,
Can you throw in a little bit of your well-known songs, that sick riff from 12 Days of Christmas?
Absolutely. 12 Days of Christmas was the first song that I really thought about taking Christmas music and, just turning it into something more than just what we had for so many years. My mom was a big Christmas fan, and she always wanted me to do and I'm like, okay, what if I take the guitar, tune it down, and you try to crunch it up a little.
Yeah, how about Deck the Halls from that movie with Danny DeVito you were in? Or at least your song, I mean.
Yes, absolutely, man. We got to do some of that one. That's fun.
Now, I don't want to use you as like a party trick, but can I throw out some songs and have you just kind of noodle around real quick and play them? And I'll only give you stuff that I know that you know.
I'm here for, my friend. I'm your musical guest. I'd love to play for you. And if I can't remember it, I'll try.
I know, but it's an interview, and I should be asking you questions. And how did you first start on your first guitar? But this just makes me so happy.
This is fun. This is what I'm here for.
You got to play some Eddie Van Halen. I know you've used the EVH amp, and you've got to have been a huge Eddie Van Halen fan.
I'm a huge fan. My new record that I'm working on was a lot inspired because Eddie passed away, and it broke my heart because he was such an influence, and it kind of launched me into more guitar stuff. But yeah, I love playing stuff like.
You know what's pretty cool? You get to do these interviews to promote your music, but at the same time, you're still practicing and sort of getting paid to still play your guitar when you're not getting paid to play your guitar. I just realized the genius of what you do. You get to sit in your room and playing your guitar. You can tell your family, no, I'm doing an interview. They're like, well, I just heard you playing your guitar for an hour. Yeah, that's the interview. That's what I do.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you so much. You understand me. You totally understand me because That's kind of what I've always done. My whole career was, even when my manager used to send me to radio stations, I'm like, can I bring my guitar? And he would say, well, people just sit and talk. And I'm like, that's weird. I'm a guitarist. If I see Joe Satriani, I want to hear him do something and go, I want to hear something.
Yeah. Can you do any of that, what was it, David Lee Roth? Was it Yankee Rose?
Yeah, Yankee Rose. I mean, I used to play it years and years ago, but, I always loved that, just, the talking thing. It kind of goes back to not only Yankee Rose, but even just doing like... when I do Lion Lucy, it's the same thing. It's like... You know what I mean?
Yeah, there it is. Born Under a Bad Sign, if I can throw out a request.
Oh, man, I love that one. That is definitely one of my favorites, going back to the beginning of, the Albuquerque stuff. Love it.
How about one that I don't see a lot of people cover, and I don't think it really gets the credit, a little bit of Lunatic Fringe?
Oh, man, that's definitely one of my favorites. I like to do the...
I love that song. If it came out today like that, I think it still could be like a hit rock song. It sounds very 80s-ish. Maybe it's just the production and, a little bit more of that. It doesn't really have synth, but the synth sound. But I love how crunchy you get the guitar. That's so cool, Gary.
Thank you so much. Well, it's funny you should say that, because I've always felt that my whole career, and I do a version of it live sometimes, and people love it, and I crunch it out. I recorded a version actually for ESPN. They let me use it on one of my albums. So if you look it up, it's somewhere on iTunes.
You got to throw in some OZZY for us, because you famously tried out for OZZY. Do you remember when you were there, what songs you had to play? Was it Sabbath? Was it solo stuff? Or did you guys just kind of jam?
Well, I was the biggest Sabbath fan growing up. I mean, I can't even tell you how much of a fan I was of OZZY. He was like a kind of a god to me. When I sent a cassette tape in, an actual cassette tape, I got a call and I was flown to Los Angeles to play. I couldn't even believe it. It was like a dream come true. So whether I got the gig or not, I was already pretty happy. They gave me some specific songs to learn, so I knew kind of what I was going to have to do. And then they told me I was going to do an unaccompanied solo. I had to play by myself. I remember doing... I don't know. I remember doing that one. And then we did... Bark at the Moon. And then we did a little... Remember doing Crazy Train. What an experience. I mean, OZZY was right there in front of me, singing with me, just shaking his hair around, and I was in another world, but what a great experience. And he, people ask me, were you bummed out, you didn't get the OZZY gig, but when he came up to me and said, God, Mario, come to LA, hey, man. I was like, Sharon, what did he say? He said, move to LA and you're going to be famous. So I moved to LA because OZZY told me to. And he gave me so much confidence, man. And I tell people out there, if you don't get a gig or you don't get a job, but you worked really hard to get it, you're still making yourself better, and it'll lead to something else.
I wanted to ask you too, Gary, with the passing of Frankie Banali, you guys were close at one point, or at least acquaintances?
Sure. Yeah, very good friends. I mean, he played on Hocus Pocus, which was my first hit, and he played on a couple of my albums, and then he was the drummer for Heavy Bones, which was the heavy metal kind of hard rock band that we had signed with Warner Brothers. He was in that band. So, yeah, I have a lot of history with Frankie. He was a dear friend, yeah.
Did you know that he was sick? I mean, it kind of became public knowledge there right at the end, but did you at least get to go chat with him or talk to him, or had you guys stayed in touch?
Yes, we were staying in touch, and I was supporting him in the end. I was just living in New Hampshire. He was in California, so it was hard, to be together, and he was touring. He was still touring as long as he could. Great guy, and I never seen someone go through so much in his life, just, different things that he dealt with. And he was such a strong person, but what a legendary drummer, man. He left such a legacy, and his service was streamed on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube if people haven't seen it. It's really cool. It's really nice.
And something else I found on YouTube, congratulations, your daughter got married.
Yes, my daughter got married this past summer, and it's been interesting having her married, and we had a great time at the wedding, and she lives about an hour away, so we go to see her, but we did a fun daddy-daughter dance that was on YouTube. You might have seen it, I don't know, but we did a fun dance together that people have been loving to see.
Did you feel any expectations to get your guitar out and play, or did you play at the wedding? And if the answer is no, was your guitar at least in your car? I imagine you don't go many places without it nearby.
You know what? I did not actually have it. I didn't play at the wedding. I think she kind of forbid me, just be my dad. So I think I was kind of forbidden to play. Of course, we had to do the daddy-daughter dance, going from "You Are So Beautiful" to "You Can't Touch This." We did one of those dances, and it just cracked everybody up.
Let me ask you kind of a personal question. I'm not looking for specific numbers, just kind of explaining to me how the music business works. Now, you've got your hands on a lot of different things, DVDs, CDs, tours. You mentioned ESPN. There's Christmas cards that play Gary Hoey's music. You've got live streams. I don't know if that's a revenue stream at all. But how do you keep track to make sure that you're getting paid what you get paid for? So say, OZZY hires a new guitar player. So he gets a check. He goes, oh, this is for the new song I wrote with OZZY, and this is for the tour. I imagine it's pretty simple. But you've got merchandise. You've got holiday music. You've got touring. You've got ESPN. You've got Deck the Halls. You've got all kinds of different movies. How do you make sure that you're getting what you get? Or you just get a check and go, I assume that's for something I did. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what makes a career is it's a combination of all the little things you do that trickle down into a living, and it's little things here and there. But the way it is most of when you're a professional artist recording different avenues of things, nowadays it's kind of good because there are very specific people that take care of specific royalties, like for instance ASCAP and BMI. They cover anything that I do as far as my performance royalties. If I'm played on the radio, if I'm played on a DVD at a movie or something like that, then they collect all that kind of royalty. They keep kind of track specifically, literally of what movie or what song it came from. And then now there's a company that handles all the digital stuff, like everything that's streaming and everything that's playing on these digital stores. There's a company that sort of keeps track of all that. Sound Source or something, I forget the name of it, but they handle all that digital stuff. So it's really, a lot of different places, but you kind of hire or you connect with the right organization to handle those specific royalties. And you're basically getting, you're getting money from all these different streams with pretty specific details, as far as what the accounting was and where it was for, where it came from. And then it's funny, sometimes I'll get things from China or Japan where they'll be like, you got 2 cents.
Yeah.
You send me a check from China, from Japan for 2 cents. It was more expensive to, put in an envelope,
Well, Gary, thank you so much, man. I look forward to talking to you every year. The Ho Ho Hoey Rockin' Holiday Tour kicking off day after Thanksgiving in Pennsylvania. Happy holidays to you and your family. We hope to see you in Idaho sometime soon. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been a while. And thank you so much, too, for having me on. It's always a pleasure. And have a great holiday, man. Thanks for having me. And I will be back. We'll see you then.
Sounds good, man. Anytime you want to come on, just give me a ring.
Great. Thanks so much, brother. Take care.